Welcome. You've arrived so soon. The Great Lake must have been favorable currents today. It is so good to finally meet you. Why? What a kind thing to say. I've been told by many that I am pleasing to the eye, but I've always assumed it was because I'm royalty. It's gratifying to hear it from someone who isn't one of my subjects, or rather, my parents' subjects. Oh, I understand. You must have fallen for the topsider gossip about us. You must have thought I was a nasty beast, some foul lizard. A lot of topsiders think that. It's all because you refer to us, who live underground, as troglodytes. It's not a very appealing name. If you ask me, and as you can see, we look nothing like those ugly lizard people who prowl around near the entrances to the underground. Oh my. Does this mean when we were exchanging letters, you were picturing me as some disgusting creature? How noble of you to have written such sweet words when you imagined me that way. You must be so relieved. And to think that you also agreed to marry me. I can see that you're truly devoted to your kingdom, to willingly marry a monster for the sake of your people. I am starting to find that I'm liking you better and better. Well, there is that. I suppose a commoner would suffer through greater trials than that for a chance to live through a life of royalty. My understanding is that your people don't get many opportunities to improve your situation. It's all a matter of being born in the right spot. Is that correct? How nice it must be for you, then, to be able to choose to participate in this exchange. It doesn't sound like it's common for you people to be able to create a better life for you. Oh. Yeah, well, it wasn't exactly a choice for me. Royals have their duties, you know. My parents chose me out of all their children for this task. Yes, it's a very important duty. When royals and nobles intermingle too much, the bloodline becomes corrupted. So we tend to select commoners of healthy disposition to wed instead. It was very considerate of your king to respect our traditions for political marriage. We always treat a commoner to royal the others... I'm sorry, I'm very tongue-tied today. We always trade a commoner to marry the other's royalty. I don't mean to disrespect topsider ways, but I think it's better this way. You're going to bring a very valuable perspective that a royal couldn't. You actually know what it's like to be a commoner. You know their needs, even if you're not from this kingdom. It always made more sense to me. Oh, but I'm babbling, aren't I? I must admit, I am a little nervous meeting you. Even though we exchanged letters, it's still a nerve-wracking moment. Meeting your future husband with no knowledge of their looks or true temperament. Well, I'm not surprised. It must be incredibly intimidating, suddenly being selected to marry royalty in an underground kingdom. If I may ask, how does that make you feel? Oh, well, if there's anything you shouldn't be feeling, it's unworthiness. Your people normally decide on candidates for political marriages based on nothing more than parentage in order of birth. But in your case, you've passed all sorts of tests, both physical and mental, to prove that you are a commoner worthy of a royal marriage. You've proven yourself as most worthy in your entire kingdom. Well, you can call it luck if you like, but if you're that lucky, then I'd say you'd still be more than worthy. Luck can be a wonderful skill, too. Besides that, you're doing us a great favor, just as we're doing for you. Both our kingdoms need this alliance. My kingdom has been perilously low on food for quite some time now. It is quite difficult to grow things here with no sunlight. The mushrooms and livestock we do have are being mercilessly pillaged by the lizard people. So trade with you for plentiful crops will be absolutely life-changing for my subjects. And then, of course, you'll need our high-quality ores and stones. It's all common for us. But as I understand it, topsiders value the treasures of earth above all else. I say all that had to say this. You've proven yourself, and you're doing something crucial on behalf of both of our people. You're wonderful, dear. Tell me a bit about yourself. Our letters were so formal, all about arranging the wedding. I suppose we don't technically have to know each other very well for the marriage to happen, but I'd prefer it, wouldn't you? What does your family do? Oh, how wonderful. You must have gotten quite used to working with your hands then. That could be useful. Nothing. Anyway, do you think you're going to miss that? You must have grown up assuming that you'd take over the family business. I imagine it must be shocking to realize things are going to be in a totally different direction. I suppose I can understand that. That seems to be very something common that royalty and commoners have. Things tend to be decided for you. Any chance to make that decision for yourself should be treasured, even if it's unexpected. In my case, I always knew I was going to be part of a political marriage. I'm the oldest of my siblings, but it's been declared I must rule with guidance. So it's the only way I can contribute for now. And you cannot be royalty if you don't wish to contribute. Oh, I would not say I'm unlucky. In fact, you and I are going to have an incredibly easy life together. Our whole purpose is to symbolize our kingdom's unions. And all we really are required to do are make public appearances at some important events. As long as we look happy together, people will see that our people can get along. I know, it's incredibly simple. Of course, we can do more if we choose. We will have a certain allotment of the royal treasury that's at our disposal, but that's more a matter of personal taste. Personally, I'd love to do some humanitarian outreach between kingdoms. It makes the bond that much stronger. I don't intend to merely laze around in luxury. Oh dear, I think I said something I shouldn't have. I'm so sorry. I don't mean that marrying you is beneath me. It has nothing to do with you as a person. It's just in my kingdom, all the princes and princesses are given land and responsibilities based on their potential. For me to have gotten no land at all, and this is the easiest job. It speaks volumes about what my parents think of me. It's as if they're saying, the only thing we think you're capable of is smiling in public and not cheating on your husband. I suppose I was supposed to greet you and make you feel welcome in our kingdom. But yet, here I am, burdening you with my own self-pity. Perhaps my parents weren't so wrong about me. Do you mean that? Nobody has ever made me blush like that before, and I'll be honest, I assumed all your letters had been actually penned by someone your king hired to make a good impression. I hadn't considered you'd actually be that charming. It's strange. I didn't choose this political marriage, but now that I think that perhaps, just perhaps, I can still choose you. Well, how can I say it more clearly? We've only just met, but I think if we'd met under different circumstances, I could have decided I wanted to marry you anyway. You're very sweet and charming. I know just from you passing the test and that you're healthy and intelligent. Maybe you don't see it this way because of your birth, but you're quite the specimen. I mean it. You keep bringing up your background as if it changes anything, but I'm telling you, it doesn't. If anything, I'm the one who's unworthy. You were chosen because you're the best commoner your people had to offer. I was chosen because I'm the worst of the royalty. I'm the one they could afford to give up. You're so sweet to say that. Why don't we both agree not to say such things about ourselves? Let's just say we're bringing something to our marriage, and we're both doing something important for our people. I was actually feeling quite terrible about all this before you arrived. I hated the fact that I was chosen for this union, but seeing that you're so likable, I suppose it's not so bad. I may not technically be allowed to refuse the marriage, but perhaps this doesn't mean I can't embrace you for the spouse on my own accord. In that case, let's make this formal. Will you marry me? Perhaps I should rephrase this. At this point, we will be married regardless. But do you want to marry me? I'm so happy to hear you say it. I feel the same for you. I'm glad you were the one chosen for this. And to my surprise, for the first time, I'm glad I was chosen as well. I'll choose to love you, not because it's my duty, but because it's the only thing I still have a choice in, and because you are worthy of it. Oh, come to think of it, have we just been standing in the palace's entryway this entire time? You're so engaging to talk to. I didn't even realize. There's a whole feast waiting for us. Come, my love.